Let's go make an understairs / under cupboard shoe rack using Google SketchUp online for free. Shout out to Google SketchUp. Let's get to it. Welcome to the second lockup. If you ever thought my garage was full, well, this is where everything that can't fit in my garage ends up. Right, let's get this in the van. Do that without smashing everything. The real question is, do we want one sheet or do we want two? We are going to want this sheet of 12mm to do the back. Thinking about it, guys, we've got more offcuts at home. I think one of these sheets is going to be more than enough. Welcome back then, YouTube. We're back at the house. It's time to start making... You all right, Chris? Do you hear me talking to myself? It's just me talking to the camera.
Oh yes, right.
I'm doing a little shoe rack today. Right. Let's set up the trestles.
Let's go. Time to grind, get inside your mind. Yeah, we working overtime. That's the only way to climb. We gon' make it in our prime. Signing on the dotted line, cashing checks left and right. That's the way I'm living life.
Right then, guys, my first tip for you DIYers is going to be keeping straight lines. But I've been thinking about you guys and all the equipment that I use, and I can obviously use some high-end kit that you guys probably don't own. So I'm going to try and do this using just a skill saw, hand saw, and some basic tools, rather than showcasing all this wonderful kit that I have that you guys don't. So let's see if I can do this using some simple hand tools. We've got that. Right, so guys, for this part, ripping down this first sheet of ply into the width that I want, instead of using my table saw, instead of using my track saw, I'm going to try and do it using a straight edge. I'm using a level, some clamps, and other than that, I'm just going to set out. So we're going to make things real simple. We're going to do 600 deep because I don't want any waste. 600. Then is what I'm going to do. You don't have to use a square, but this is just a little bonus if you have a square. I'm going to square that across there like that. And I'm going to do some problem solving, easy problem solving for you guys. So we're going to start cutting. So from this here cutting at this point, I'm then going to hold my level square and flat, and I'm going to mark this back edge of the level, and then going to come across with my tape, and that measures 706mm. 706mm. Clamp this at this end, and then clamp this one at this end. These are Irwin quick clamps. These are only like 150mm. You can, I believe, push that like that, and then you can also use them the opposite way to spread. Real handy stuff, highly recommend. So doing what I just done there by starting already, just by starting that little bit there and then putting the level on and then making the mark, I removed the process of working out your offset, what side of the line you cut in. I just simply cut the side of the line I want, offered the level up, made the mark the opposite side of the level, and bosh, we're moving forwards. Check your depth. Now we should be good to roll. Perfect 600. I want to do the same with this. So the same again, only this time I'm going to put the level in a different place. Because I've not got that overhang to have it on the outside and be pushing against it, put it on the inside and I can pull against it. Now, my base plate is as wide as my skill saw. So if you're going to do this method, just check that your skill saw or the saw that you're about to use, the motor doesn't overhang your base plate. And if it does, then maybe you need to consider getting something flatter so that it'll clear it, because my level's quite bulky. You might have a flatter level. You might have so for context, that's a Stabila R line, because it looks like an R but backwards because I've got the other end of it. And these are like just box section, standard box section. They're still quite strong. Politely, the DIY ones are obviously a lot smaller. They're more like a 50 by 15 or a 50 by 20. Anyway, waffling. So keep the square edge, and we want to do another 600 rip. Now I want to pick up my saw, start it. If you're a little unconfident at starting that square, get yourself one of these roofing square, hook that on the edge there, and that's in there square. There's that. So that's my mark, and that mark is 3704. Now I would say you could copy my measurements, but that depends on your level and all your offset and your skill saw being the same as mine. So interpretate my measurements if you want, or mark out your own and make your own equations. And I've totally forgotten, was that 374 or was that 370 something? 376. That's the wrong side of the line. I want to clamp that there. Always double check. There we go. There we go. We now have two panels the exact same size. If you don't have two panels the exact same size, guys, one thing I could recommend is cut from there. That was a square edge and that was a square edge. So right then, guys, sorry about that. The battery just died, so that's all set back up. So one thing you can do is you can lay your panels next to each other like this and just feel with your fingers. Yeah, boy. That they're the same size and shape. They only have to be within a mil. We're not making crazy cabinets. You know, we're DIYers is what I'm trying to aim at here. Obviously, my end, in my profession, every millimetre counts. That's what she said. But for you guys, don't stress over 1 or 2 mil. You'll be able to tweak it, make it look good, and just draw the eye away from the attention of the detail. That's the word I'm looking for there. So. This base wants to be, I need to go check. No, I don't, because I've got it here. 1.70 meter is what we want for our base, because we said we're going to take 10 mil off. And I'm just going to double check that fits. If you have an offcut, now's the time to grab an offcut. Put one under there, and I'll put another one under this other side. Probably going to want to rock a bit that, but we'll make it work. We're going to do the same thing again. So we're going to use our square to keep square. And if you buy a big enough square like this, there we go. So there we go, that's the base. So now I need to start thinking about risers. So I need a 1450, is it, or a 1440? I don't fully know, do I? Because that was determined off that. So now I need to get out a chop saw. Right, cut some of this. And we're going to cut this at, what did I say, they were 600. So if I cut some legs at 500, don't have to be spot on, as long as they're within a few millimetres. In fact, I'm contradicting myself. I said to you guys I'm going to do this using the skill saw. So we're not going to use the chop saw, not unless I absolutely have to anyway. Does that mark up? Yeah, that marks up. Right, full plunge for that. Take that away off there. Let's send this back. So, square on there, line up your skill saw. There's one. Do I have any more? 3 but 2. One more leg. I'm going to put one in the centre. I honestly must lose most of this glue every time I tip that pot over in the van. And in case you was wondering, I'm using the Evo stick. I used to use the no nonsense, but screw fix going on. The no nonsense stuff seems to be watered down, and this Evo stick is now this new replacement. If you're just doing a one-off for 10 odd pounds from screw fix, the no nonsense will do. But for me, being a professional, I prefer that stuff. And then if I want to water it down and make it go further, I can, but I don't. And this stuff's gloopy and sticks, whereas the other stuff just runs everywhere. And before you know it, you've created a right mess. So then, here is my base. So I've defined this here as the bottom. Yeah, I'm going to use this here as the bottom. All I'm going to do is come in 50 mil. So I'm going to come on a 2-inch mark. So I'll tell you what, I'm going to show you 2 ways. So if you get one of these nice squares, you can either do this and mark 2 inches, And if you don't, then you can just simply mark one end and then the other, and then get yourself a straight edge. And I'll do this the other way. Do that, and there you go. You've marked your edge. Now then, guys, I'm just going to use some Mitre Mate as well as some PVA glue here in the middle. And all I'm looking to do is sit this on that 50mm mark, relatively square. So the idea of the Mitre Mate is that just grips top and bottom to hold it in place while I can then pin it, basically. And when it comes to this centre one, I know that this is 1180, so half of a metre is 5, and that's 40. So my centre is probably going to be somewhere here. There we go, that's that. Then this is in there by 50mm. 50mm is 2 inches. 2 inches, where's that square gone? I know where that square will be, under here. Same again, guys. Bit of PVA down the middle, some Mitre Mate, top and bottom. There we go, there's that. So now that I've got this piece set up, I am now gonna whack some screws in. And for this, I'm gonna use some Unifix 440s from Fastco Fixings. Shout out to them. Right, let's see if this fits. Right then, boys and girls, a little bit of rattle. All we want, that is in there. Pretty good. Now, I'm gonna keep it tight to that edge, because then I think I'm gonna put architrave up here and fill that edge. So I wanna be, in fact, I'm gonna pull it forward because we wanna keep it parallel. So I'm looking at that on this nil post and sort of keeping it forward with that. And then I just want to look here and measure upright. So if I said, do we do it? We're going to do it, guys. How much am I going to gain? Not a lot. We'll do it. Hold tight. So I need to cut this. And you're probably thinking, oh, just get the multi-tool out. But not everybody's got a multi-tool. So here's what we do. The sharper your saw, the quicker this will be over. But this is what we used to do before multi-tools. Guys, when you see that, don't panic, don't stress, it's going to happen. My answer to, like, when you do damage like this is you just tell the wife, the missus, the girlfriend, you can't make an omelette without cracking a few eggs. And then back to the kitchen series, remember? I said just score your cork so that it doesn't pull all the paint. I'm just going to do that again. Oh, that actually comes out. After all that, that was only in there a little way, guys. All right, so here we go then. So now I need to make sure could probably do with an offcut, can't I? Let's get an offcut. Right, so here is an offcut that I snapped off in the garden earlier. So if I was tight to that, we would be looking at something like, let's measure this side first. Here is another cool little trick. Get your tape, reel that out on the floor, stand that up and like over what you're about to do, and then that should stay there, no hands. And I'm doing that by the other end here is just on the floor, but on an angle lent against that. But make sure this is upright, else it's just gonna wanna weave. 420, right, I now need to find this angle. And the only way I can really do this is by using a sliding bevel. 2 ways to use the sliding bevel. You can either do the bottom angle or the top angle. Both will be the same, as long as the walls are upright. And I'm going to go for the top. The other way you can do it is you can get level, you can plumb down on there, sit that on there, and then, yeah, plumb it up level. That'll do. That is my mark. That is my angle that we're looking to achieve. So just quickly before we go, I've written down here 420mm, and I've written down here 1 metre, 380. There are our angles. Let's go get it.